All right, it is time now once again for the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Mellis, but you can call me Eli for short. And who is this wonderful, beautiful lady here to my right that is never, ever, ever stressed out? Who are you?
Oh, you don't know me very well.
Well, then who are you?
Well, I'm your girlfriend, and I'm Dawn Ledgerwood.
And
I'm very stressed out.
Oh, yeah, me too. We'll get that in a little bit. But you're also the Director of Operations and Executive Vice President of the GNA, short for Genuine Networking Association.
I sure am.
All right. Anyway, let's get right to it, babe, because we have a lot to talk about. Welcome back to another episode of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. This is episode number 60. And today's topic is Don't Let Stress Create Health Issues. One more time, episode number 60 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast is Don't Let Stress Create Health Issues. Now, Don, today we're talking about something that a lot of people don't take seriously until their body starts forcing them to take it seriously. Stress, pressure, worry, arguments, drama, fear, anger, financial stress, family stress, relationship stress, work stress, online stress, all of it. And here's the thing, Don, stress is not just something that happens in your head. It can show up in your body. It can affect your sleep, your stomach, your chest, your energy, your mood, your patience, your focus, and your ability to live your life peacefully. And sometimes we don't even realize how much stress we're carrying because we get used to surviving. We get used to being tense. We get used to waiting for the next problem. We get used to always being on guard. And before we know it, our body is saying enough. So today, we're going to talk about why stress can become dangerous, how to recognize when it is starting to affect you, and how to stop letting other people, other problems, and the other chaos take over your health, because some things deserve your attention, but not everything deserves your nervous system. But, as always, my lovely lady, before we get to all of this,
Yes.
let me start out by asking you, how's the past week been going for you here at the wonderful, amazing, beautiful GNA, which is short for Genuine Networking Association?
Well, everything's been going great this week. It's still been stressful. We'll just start with that. The week has been stressful, but pretty much same old is going on, you know. A lot of the same old stuff. So, yeah, but as far as our week, we had a pretty good week this week. We did get some good news. I'm not going to share it, but, you know, it just something it was really, I would say exciting and gave us some hope. So,
yeah, we're not going to talk about it specifically, but what I'm going to say is it is causing a little bit of stress because it is going to take some work. But
yes.
We're not going to get into the specifics of that particular aspect.
No.
But it's just adding on to the stress and the
Yes.
incredible list that we personally have going on right now in our lives. And we're gonna talk about some things specifically here and share with you folks, but go ahead.
Yeah, and see, I had a personal issue this week where I found out that my friend who passed away, her memorial's going to be on a certain day. And then I found out that my niece's graduation was the same day. So it kind of stressed me out. Obviously, I want to go to my niece's graduation. So that was a choice I had to make. But it was still stressful because I didn't want to hurt anybody. And that's the biggest problem, is that people worry so much about how you are affecting the other people that stresses you out. And you know what? It stresses them out too.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think some people or many people nowadays take other people's feelings, wants, and needs and stress into consideration. People are very selfish nowadays, babe.
Well, a lot of people do not take into account what's going on in somebody's personal life.
Correct.
You don't know if they are, going through medical issues themselves, or a close family member is, and or they just got news that day that was devastating.
Right.
You never know what's happening outside of your realm of knowledge.
And
so, if somebody like literally comes at you, it's because their stress level, you just topped it off. So it is something that does affect every person in this world.
What makes it worse, babe, is when family is not taking your feelings, wants, and needs into consideration. That's happened within my family and within your family, and I think it happens within everyone's families, and that just makes it more stressful and difficult when your own family doesn't take your feelings, wants, and needs and stress into consideration.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and I mean I've noticed so many families that I grew up with or I've known throughout the last, decade or two that has happened. Like, it's too stressful and couples can't handle it. I've seen a lot of couples split up.
Well, I think you and I have dealt with an incredible amount of stress, probably more than most people I've ever dealt with.
Well, I would say...
And we handle it. We're still here.
I wouldn't say it's more than other people have had to handle, but I would say
fair enough.
It's more than what people actually know that we have to handle, yes.
Right. That's a good way to put it. That's a very good way to put it. Anything else, baby?
No, let's carry on. This is a good topic, guys.
It is. Thank you. This topic is very, very near and dear to my heart. And over the last 8 years, maybe 6 to 7 years, I've been dealing with an incredible amount of stress daily. A lot of it has to do with what's going on YouTube, where we primarily create our content there. And I've been trying to grow a personal development type of business along with the GNA here, Genuine Networking Association. I've tried to grow that, and we've been dealing with some people that we're now currently in court with to get this resolved regarding defamation of character, intentional infliction of emotional distress. We've had people paint us in a false light. We've had people commercially exploit us. We've had people rebroadcast our live streams in their entirety as we're doing them live. It's affected our audience. It's affected us being promoted properly and to the right audience algorithmically through YouTube's search and discovery system. And I've been dealing with that in court. I've sued someone that I've known on this platform for many years that I tried to get to stop what he's doing for many years. And then finally I had to sue him 8 months ago. There's another person in his group that's been acting in concert with him, working together with him, coordinating this attack on us for the last, I'd say probably 1.5 to 2 years. And so now I've added her to the case. These people are both in Florida. We're in California here, San Francisco Bay Area. They're in Florida. And because they're both in the state of Florida, there's jurisdiction on both of them. And I added this second person to the case, and it has basically, driven my stress level through the roof. Now, I've been playing it cool, but I'm going to talk about it here today in a cool, calm, and collected way. But I'm going to be honest. It has affected my body. It has affected my chest very tight. It has affected, my stomach and all that.
Your energy level?
My energy level has been down, and I've been fighting it. And I've had to rest a lot more lately, which is why I used to go live almost every day, if not every day, at least 5, 6, sometimes 7 times a week on a 2-3 mile walk. And now my walks are basically 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes 2 to 3 times a week. Not because I don't want to do it, because my stress and what I've had to do to represent myself because, I can't afford an attorney. I'm representing myself in this court case, and there are going to be other court cases as well too that I'm planning on filing that need to be filed against some of the same people that are already being sued. And it's just caused a whole lot of stress. On top of that, we're not going to get into this too deep, but you have your family stuff. I have my family stuff. There are a lot of things going on with my family. It's all good, and same with yours.
Yeah.
And some things are, a little bit.
This is the time of year where it gets really busy for families. We just celebrated Mother's Day.
Right. Happy Mother's Day to everyone.
And yes, happy Mother's Day. And, people are starting to get ready. Graduations are happening. It's the wedding season. People are just starting to get in that summer mode, I think. So a lot of plans are happening, which then causes stress. So, I know my brother in particular, they are so busy that, to have a free weekend to do something with the family is a stretch. And it causes stress on all the family,
It does.
And so, it can be from any direction, and it could be just as little as I can't show up because I'm working,
Yeah.
But that turns into a lot of stress there because we're wondering, why do you have to work all the time? What's going on, And so, it's nothing. Typically, it's just, I've got to work. So, yeah.
Well, when gas prices are nearing $7 a gallon here in the Bay Area for the first time ever because of our wonderful President Trump, I say that with sarcasm.
I heard one of my friends that lives in Hollister, they went to Oakland and it was $8 a gallon.
In some areas like San Francisco and Oakland and stuff, it's probably $8 at some of the Chevrons and higher end stations. I think the cheapest gas you can get right now is right at about the $6 level, $6 to $6.40. And it's because our president just wants to create wars and, wants to act like he's doing something for the better good of the future of the country while it's affecting people right now. At the same time, he's acknowledged that we have affordability issues and everything has just skyrocketed. Honestly, the cost of living in the last 3 months has practically doubled, it seems like. And it's just that's adding more to the stress. It's just been, I'm not going to lie. I'm healthy, and so is Don. Okay, we're as healthy as can be. But no matter how healthy you are, stress is something that is the worst thing for your health. It is one of the absolute worst things you can do to your health. I don't know if I can compare it to alcoholism, but it's probably just as bad. It's probably just as bad because stress can tense out your body to the point of where, you could possibly have a heart attack. You could, have other major complications that can put you in a pretty serious health condition. Go ahead.
Babe, what would you say is one of the biggest stressors on people these days?
Money. Finances.
Yes.
Honestly, affordability. That's the main thing. Again, we go back to Trump. Trump finally acknowledged we have an affordability issue when he was running for his second term. He was saying that it's going to be about affordability and grocery prices and stuff like that. But that's not where it's at.
I think it stems from change. Whenever you have to have change in your normal routine or your normal daily stuff, that's stressful. So, that's, I think change is a big factor.
Change of what?
Just change in anything. Change in your lifestyle.
And your
change
in your
job.
In your routine?
In your routine.
Okay.
Maybe you have to add something into your daily routine or your work routine that's going to add extra hours or extra time. And that can stress somebody else out. Like if you have to take on a new responsibility on top of all your other ones,
And on top of that, this is episode number 60 of our podcast. And we have been consistent for 60 weeks in a row. And I know Dawn is proud of that and I'm proud of that. But like a week like this week, I almost consider just taking a week off. And then I'm like, I just can't live with that right now. We've been consistent. We don't want to break that streak. And that creates stress because some things, for me, it's like no matter what is going on, no matter how sick I am or tired I am or how many other things are going on, certain things have an absolute priority, just like this podcast. It means a lot to us. This is a big part of what we're doing to, build our future, and I just feel like, if we, no matter how tired we are or stressed out we are, and legitimately need a week off from the podcast, I really feel that it would create me and you, or you and I, more stress to skip a week, because then it would be like, oh, we broke our streak, and that would just,
and we disappointed our audience.
Right, exactly, and our audience would be disappointed too, and so we just don't want to do that to anyone, let alone ourselves. But yeah, there's a lot going on. My plate is full. Your plate is full.
Yes.
There are a lot of things that involve what I call clerical work, meaning sitting down at the laptop and writing things out. I'm at that stage right now. You've got certain things, we're not going to get into them, that require laptop and writing out time, and so do I.
Yes.
Over many things, court cases and other stuff, right? And all of those things have deadlines. The thing is, those things have deadlines. And for example, in my circuit civil case, now that I have 2 defendants, and I've amended my complaint, the third amended complaint was filed almost a month ago. And then I added the second party to the case. And then both of them have filed motions to dismiss after we just came off a previous motion to dismiss that survived the case with the original defendant, right? So now both of them have filed a motion to dismiss. I'm sitting here, filing my oppositions and then dealing with a lot of procedural aspects that I have to file within the case, not based on just one defendant, but 2. So my workload has doubled on this case. And if I don't get on it right away, no matter how tired or sick I am or stressed out or worn out, it piles up. I miss deadlines. And then that would cost me the case. And that would also make everything worse. It's like I have a list of required, necessary things. At the same time, I've got a lovely lady here that I want to spend more time with. And we have been spending time together, but that's been affecting, some of the time that I would prefer to spend more with her.
And
right.
The fact that the stress is so heavy that the times that we do have, you're not feeling well. Yeah. Yeah, you're worn out. So
and I think you understand that, and you are being amazing. I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But still, you shouldn't have to deal with that. And you're being understanding because you know that this needs to be done for the future of the both of us.
Yes,
I get it.
And I support you 100%.
I appreciate that. I'm acknowledging how this affects anyone in a relationship. And when you have the right partner and you're going through things, like you dealt with things when I first met you. You had things you were dealing with that I had to drop everything to support you and help you through. Uh-oh, here he goes again. Does he need to go out? Okay, you know what? Let me do this. Well, let me turn off the camera. I took him out, but I think he has to go number 2 now, baby.
I think you're right. Yes.
He has to go number 2. Bochy went number 1 before the show. Now he's got to go number 2. So Dawn's going to step away for a few. While she's stepping away, I'm just going to talk a little bit more off camera for the people viewing this on YouTube, and then we'll pop it back on. It's so distracting. Oh, man. Maybe it was a false alarm.
I think he just wanted his camera time.
Okay.
I'm really sorry.
No. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, well,
We've got dogs. We run our own shows.
Everybody knows
We do everything.
Bochy and Buster.
It's just Dawn and I do the tech and setup, and it's just us. And we have our wonderful dogs.
I'm ready,
and
sweetie.
If we kept them in the other room,
They would be barking,
and it'd be much, much worse. But anyway, let me turn on the camera.
I think he just wanted camera time.
Maybe so. Stop. Camera time.
Right?
Instead of hammer time, right? Yeah. But anyway,
shall we get to the questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to say just a little bit more here, and then we'll get to the questions. One of the things that I've tried to do, and I suggest anyone in my situation do. You've got a wonderful lady, but you have a lot on your plate, and it requires you to work more than 8 hours a day. I've had to work literally 12 to 14 hours a day with what I've had to do regarding my court case and other things outside of the court case. And, you have to communicate with your partner, and you just have to be honest with them and let them know how important this is and why this is going to take an extra half hour or hour out of the evening we had planned to spend together.
Yeah.
So instead of having 4 hours to spend together before bedtime, we now have 3 or 2.5, which it's better than nothing. But the bottom line is, it's like, that's not fair to her. And so, but when there's something that both her and I know I need to do, such as maybe capture some evidence of a live stream in real time that's going to be deleted if we don't do it, there's an understanding there.
Yeah.
Again, this is the way it is right now because of this case. It's not always going to be this way. Explain to your partner that, hey, yes, we're here now, but we're planning for our future.
Yes.
We may lose a little playtime in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, maybe a year or two. But then after that, when this is all clear and all said and done, our life will be so much better. That's all you can do. Do the best you can to communicate with your partner. And if you have the right partner, they'll understand, like Dawn has.
Yeah.
If they don't understand, they keep giving you shit. At that point, you have to ask yourself, are you with the right person?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And it is understandable that you're patient. And then you get to the level of, you know what? I can't be patient anymore. I need some time with you. And I have expressed that, and he makes the time. So it's all about compromise and communication.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't have said it better myself. Should we get to the 10 questions?
Yes.
We have 10 questions I'm going to be asking you, and then I'll be giving a brief response as well. The first one is the foundation question. So Dawn, why do you think people underestimate stress until it starts affecting their health?
I think people don't totally understand the consequences of stress, and they just keep building like more things on to cause more stress. They don't realize how it is affecting their body until it's too late.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No.
So that was great. Why do I think people underestimate stress until it starts affecting their health? I'm the same way. But I have learned to always listen to my body. That is the key.
Yes.
You have to listen to your body. you're going to be able to fight your body off to a certain point. And then your body is going to start fighting you harder. And when your body starts fighting you harder, if you try to push through that, and for example, there have been times where I've tried to push through things and my body's telling me no. And then I tried to set up a walking stream and do a walk. And then 10 minutes later, my body starts fighting me harder. And it's telling me, you need to rest. You cannot walk today. You go walk, you're going to collapse or you're going to fall. You're going to be in some serious health. You're going to be in a serious health issue.
Risk, yeah.
Or risk, right? That's when I walk out of this office here. That's also my office when it's not a podcast studio. I walk out to the other room, the living room, and I tell Don, I'm not walking today. Let the team know I'm not walking because I need to lay down. You've seen that happen quite a bit lately.
Yes.
And that's my body saying, hey, look, you have pushed yourself to your max and beyond your max. Any further pushing, you're going to collapse.
Well, yeah. And the things that you talk about on your walks, they are stressful topics.
They can be.
And so when you're dealing with home and work here on the computer and everything else that's going on in the people's lives around you that you love, it just, you hit that point where your brain is like on overload and ready to crash.
Right.
Like your computer, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Every person has their breaking point. Computers, are limited in their capabilities based on the specs you have. Fortunately for me, I beefed up my laptop. It has an i9 processor. I've got 64 gigs of RAM, which is overkill, but I beefed it up because I want this thing to last 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And it just runs smoothly.
I heard the greatest thing today on TV.
What's that?
This chef, he had stopped drinking when he turned 50.
Oh, wow, that's good.
And he's now like 2 or 3 years sober. But he goes, a lot of people say they go through a midlife crisis.
Right.
He said, I'm going through a midlife beginning, a new beginning for the last half of my life.
And you've been going through the same thing.
Exactly. And that's why when he said that, I was like, yes.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah.
Amen, right?
Right? So, I just wanted to mention that before you go on to the next question.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to number 2 here. We are at 28 minutes. We're going to take a break. Your break at the 45-minute mark, right?
Yeah, the 5 question mark.
Yeah. Number 2, Dawn, everyday stress. Let me ask you, babe, what are some everyday things that can quietly build up stress in a person?
Obviously, your work.
What?
Your work.
Okay.
Can you start the day? What is the first thing you do as you go to work? Almost every person's job, they will have a little bit of stress. There'll be deadlines, like Eli was saying. There'll be, for instance, like when I worked, I had to place an order before a certain time in order to get the product.
Right.
In the next delivery. So there's a lot of things because you got to do that on top of the rest of the job and taking care of your customers. That causes stress. So those are good things that start the stress off in your day, which can cause the rest. It's a ripple effect. Everything else that day, you'll be stressed because maybe then you leave work late.
Right.
And then you got to get home for your kids' dinner and putting them to bed. And it's like you're rushing. And you know what? That's when accidents happen.
Excellent. Anything else?
No, sir.
So let me share my thoughts on that. What are some everyday things that can quietly build up stress in a person? Let's speak for myself. I have a list, a mile, 2 miles, 10 miles long every day. And that's a list that is just standard. It's not within my control. Some things, I mean, I'd love to cut that list in half, but right now I can't because it'll affect myself and others. And I don't want to do that to the other people I care for, including myself.
You know, a list, keeping a list and prioritizing. So you know you have your normal daily things, like I'm saying, waking up, going to work, doing all that stuff. But it's the other daily schedules
Correct.
that you have to commit yourself to. Like I said, your kids' soccer or baseball games, you know, like your kids, just their school activities.
Right.
Plus, you know, and then you got to get them to bed. You got to get them bathed. And so you're rushing. And my only thing is I found when I was doing that, I wasn't in accidents, but a lot of people I knew. And, you know, it was a lot of the dads that were affected by the racing home to be a part of their kids' lives. You know, that's stress. I've seen had two friends that were in accidents and unfortunately both passed.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, I think you know, if I slightly, it was Dave Sargent, my ex-husband Sargent.
Yeah, you told me about that. That was a very sad story.
And then the other one was the girl I was working with at the golf course, and it was her mother coming home from work.
That's really sad.
Yes.
But there's one thing that stresses me out more than anything that can quietly build up and then not become so quiet. And I feel this is one of the best things anyone can do to relieve that stress is to talk about it with their partner or their family. For example, you want to spend time with me as much as possible, and I do too. But when other things are piling up on that list that's absolutely necessary to complete that day, or it's going to affect not just myself, but you and others, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to communicate that with you. And for the most part, you've done great. There are days where you just don't want to hear it. And everyone's like that. I'm the same way. Other people are the same way. But when you're stressed out and you're going to your life partner or a friend or a family member and they want to share about their stress, do the best you can to listen. Because when you say, I don't want to hear it, you're taking their already very stressful situation and doubling or tripling their stress. And then you're going to upset them. They're going to overreact, which is going to cause them more stress and possibly put them into a health crisis. And I'm saying that this show is actually opening up my eyes. And I thought of this topic. I'm not saying I'm all that. Don could have easily come up with this. I thought of this topic because of what I've been feeling in real time lately. Like a lot of these shows that we do are based on what we're experiencing in real time because we know you folks out there experience similar things in real time. And we want to show you how we're handling it or trying to handle it. So you know you're not alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I was just scratching my head.
It's not that I want to overwhelm you or anyone with my stress or anything. But ask yourself, when you want to be heard and understood, and I don't listen, it causes you stress and massive anxiety and puts you in a severe health crisis.
Yes.
Right? That would happen to anyone, right? That's in a stressful situation where they're trying to go out to a partner or a friend or another loved one or family member, and they're looking to, talk about certain things, right? And when that other important person in their life says, I don't want to hear it, you're basically,
or I don't have time.
You're making their situation worse.
Yeah.
You're escalating stress. You're escalating anxiety, depression, and other things. So if you're someone that feels you haven't been heard and understood in these situations, but at the same time, you don't want to hear it from other people, you got to take other people's feelings, wants, and needs into consideration if you want your feelings, wants, and needs to also be taken into consideration. Life's a two-way street.
Mhm.
Family's a two-way street. Relationships are a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. You're a team in a relationship. Families are a team. We're on the same team. We're not here to compete against each other, but sometimes it comes off that way. And especially with the internet nowadays, when you have these conflicts, it draws attention and views and makes money. And that's the sad part about the internet nowadays, because that's what it takes, I guess, to make decent money, is to, just behave in the opposite ways of what's normal. Right? And that's just really sad. But again, that's what causes me the most amount of stress, is when I want to communicate why I'm stressed out and why I need a little more time to do this, why it's going to take a little more time out of our free time, and how it's going to benefit us in the future. And when you've been good for the most part, and we all have our moments. I'm saying you've been amazing, more than most other people would be, right? But I'm just saying that when I'm not able to communicate all that, it creates more stress for me, and then it creates anxiety for me, which I'm not clinically diagnosed with general anxiety disorder like Dawn is here, but I can still have moments of anxiety. Anyone can. You don't need to be diagnosed with GAD, general anxiety disorder, to get anxious. It happens.
Sweetheart, you actually have to go to the doctor to get a diagnosis.
Well, I've never been diagnosed with it in the past.
Because my point, you haven't gone to the doctor.
No, I have. It's just been a few years. It's been a few years.
At least almost 5, because
yes,
we've been together almost 5.
And I'll be getting a checkup very soon, and I'll get that done. But anyway, all right. Should we go on to number 3, babe? We
Please.
are at 36 minutes, about to turn 37 minutes here. All right, number 3 is about stress in the body, babe. So, Dawn, when you're stressed, where do you feel it in your body first?
My head. I start to get a headache.
Okay.
That kind of radiates down to my neck, which causes tension. I have had episodes of stomach, like my stomach gets nauseous when I get stressed out. I don't quite feel the tightness in my chest, but yeah, I feel those other things. I kind of get short of breath then.
Shortness of breath?
Yeah, that panic attack. Like, you're just panicked. And that's why a lot of people think that they're having a heart attack, but they're having a panic attack.
It's a panic attack.
So yeah, it affects.
You feel like you can't breathe, but you're actually breathing, but you're having such tightness that you feel
it's
like you're struggling.
You feel like you're drowning in everything.
Right. Which you kind of are.
Yes.
But you're not dying. You're basically in a very severe state of panic and shock, which if you don't get it under control, it could escalate to something worse.
Yes.
Right. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
It's your way of your body telling you that you need to get this under control. You have valid reasons to feel this way, but you got to calm down or it's going to get worse.
In another way, weight. Stress, you can stress eat. That's common. Then you could start gaining weight. Then you have a risk of diabetes, pulmonary, cardiac issues, all of that stuff. So there's a big combination of everything.
Yeah. Anything else? Because I've got something to say, because this has affected my entire life.
I know what you're going to say.
Years. Okay. Well said, babe. When I'm stressed, where do I feel it in my body first? Right in the chest and then the lower gut. And that's where most people feel it from what I've read. I'm not a doctor, but whenever I'm stressed out, I feel it in the chest. And then right below in the gut. And then depending on what happens when we're stressed out, we eat the wrong foods. We eat
That's a huge thing.
Spicy, starchy foods, lots of carbs.
Lots of sodium.
We're not eating enough healthy greens and vegetables and stuff like that, and lean proteins and And, some cheeses are good and stuff like that. We eat processed food. Which stresses out our body more so in different ways, but it's still stress.
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely stressing out your body. It's working your digestive system much harder, which wears your body down faster.
Yes.
Right? You got to give your body the right fuel. Like, you don't put diesel fuel in a car that takes regular unleaded.
Yes.
Okay? It's not going to work, right?
Yes.
It's not going to work, and so it's going to cause a lot of issues. So you gotta give your body the right fuel, and I'm guilty. We're all guilty of that.
Yeah.
Especially in this modern world nowadays, where we're trying to find more hours in the day just to figure out how we're going to bring in more money to survive because the cost of living has gone up. So what are we doing? We're not cooking as much. We get takeout. And we try to find affordable takeout, which nowadays it doesn't exist anymore anyway. I mean, shit, every time you buy something from McDonald's, you can spend $30-$40 dinner for two at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, so it's my chest, lower gut. Try to eat better. No one's perfect. Moderate the crappy foods. I mean, no one's ever going to give up the crappy foods.
Well, no, but you got to think about, okay, I ate this crap, for lunch or something. So dinner, I'm going to incorporate more. Like, I'll put a salad in dinner, something to kind of counteract that first thing you ate, or you eat it and then you exercise and you get those endorphins going. That gets your metabolism going. And endorphins are the best thing because they just make your whole body happy.
Yeah. Another thing, and let me see, I want to make a recommendation here because a lot of people have what my mom and I have, acid reflux. And I'm very sensitive all around. I am sensitive with my emotions. I try to be as strong as I can for being a man, but Don knows how sensitive I am. I'll admit that publicly. I don't care. But my entire system, my digestive system is extremely sensitive. I've known that since I came out of my mother's womb. My pediatrician, Dr. Pulford, who I believe is no longer around, God rest his soul, Dr. Pulford, a great doctor, made us aware of that. He just told my mother, you just have to manage it. And I have been managing it as best as possible. But a couple of things, these are unpaid endorsements, recommended. One thing that I've used that works, Alka-Seltzer is one of the greatest things you can use. And there's Alka-Seltzer that has like aspirin in it. And there's Alka-Seltzer that's just for the relief of the acid indigestion, and the heartburn and all that stuff. So I don't use the one with aspirin. I use Alka-Seltzer, but I get the lemon lime version, which is very hard to find. You can find it on Amazon and order it a week out. Some local places carry it. It's not discontinued or anything. It's just harder to find than the original formula. But I like it because it tastes decent and it really neutralizes, acid indigestion and acid reflux and all that stuff. And heartburn and all that. But another thing that Don reminded me of yesterday, I haven't used in years, I have it on order, it's coming from Amazon today, is Zantac 360. Zantac has always been great, but they had to pull it off the shelves a few years back. There were some issues with the formula. They redid it, and it's been back for a while now. And I have this on order, the Cool Mint version of Zantac 360. Prevents and relieves heartburn due to acid indigestion.
Yep.
Zantac is one of the absolute best
over the counter. Between
Zantac and Alka-Seltzer to the rescue, you never see those commercials anymore because everybody knows Alka-Seltzer. Alka-Seltzer, when we were growing up, Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. Plop, plop,
fizz, fizz.
Oh, what a relief it is. You remember that, baby?
How, when you think about it, it's just so, juvenile.
But it works.
And funny at the same time.
Here's the thing. I haven't heard the commercial in literally 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
No, I have actually played it on YouTube a few times, but I haven't seen it on TV in like 20 or 30 years. But I remember it like it happened yesterday when I first saw it when I was younger. And I'm thinking to myself as a little kid, what the fuck is this Alka-Seltzer shit? But it has a catchy tune. Then you get to be 52 years old and you're sitting there and you're dealing with heartburn and acid indigestion and you're like, fuck man, I gotta work. I gotta find a way to get through this day. And Alka-Seltzer to the rescue comes to mind. So you get Alka-Seltzer, you plop, fizz, you drink it with like 4 ounces of water, I believe is what it is. And then literally 5 minutes later, it's like, oh my God. That's why they say plop, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is.
Well, yeah, but what they're actually saying is you drop the 2, it fizzes in the cup and then comes relief. Right. So it's not saying like, I don't know what fizz would be in association with a bowel movement.
Well, the fizz is when you drop the tablets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like almost like a carbonation fizz.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Just 1 tablet prevents and relieves heartburn due to acid indigestion. I got 2 packs of the 25 Cool Mint version of Zantac 360 maximum strength. And it has 4.6 stars on Amazon. All right. Let's move on to the next one. We've already done the first 3. We got a couple more. We are at 46 minutes. Let's get through these 2 and then we'll take your break. Number 4, why people push too far. So, Dawn, why do you think people keep pushing through stress instead of stopping and taking care of themselves?
Because they're on deadlines. Most of them are deadlines, I think. Because it's it's stress that comes without normal stress in life, So, they just have to take that on. It's almost like crap. And then you go, God, I need more than 24 hours in a day, because the list gets longer. But you know what I want to say again about the list is you could have your daily routines on there, but then put the most, like the one that has the highest priority as in next. And then you work your way up that list. So it's like, okay, I got my daily routines. Now I got this part done. And what the best thing is maybe giving yourself time limits for things.
Right.
So you're like, okay, I've got to be done with this in 2 hours in order to make it to my next appointment in an hour. It's like that you try to fit so much in one day that is just over the top stressful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Anything else you want to mention before?
I really probably have to go soon, so I'm going to keep a little short.
Okay. So why do I think people keep pushing through stress instead of stopping and taking care of themselves? I'll tell you why I do it. Because I can't afford to hire someone to help me with all the work that needs to be done, and neither does Don. Maybe down the road we can, but if you're on a tight budget and you're doing everything yourself, like the majority of people are doing, right? The one thing is not falling behind, especially when there are deadlines. Now, the way you need to handle things is look at your deadlines and strategically plan out your schedule on getting things done by the deadline. Prioritize things by the first deadline and in order of importance by deadline. Mm-hmm. But even then, when you have a lot of things that are due in 2 days that you just found out about now, anyone's going to panic there. But you got to try not to panic. And you got to sit down with your partner and say, look, I just got all this. It is due in 2 days. I need to write a response to this. I need to do this. It's going to take me this amount of time. I'm going to be exhausted and stressed out. I love you. It's not that I don't want to hang out with you and watch shows tonight. But once I'm done with all of this, I'm going to be ready to lay down.
Yeah.
I'll be there next to you. I love you, but please understand, like, this was out of my control. Like, some things that are out of your control like that is why people keep pushing through the stress instead of stopping to take care of themselves, because you missed that deadline, you're screwed in another way.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to try to find the right balance. You got to communicate with your partner. If your partner can help you on certain things, let her help. Like Dawn does other things around the house that I wouldn't have normally done if I'm consumed with some logistical paperwork that's due in 2 days that I just found out about now. Now, most people will give you time to respond to things, but sometimes you've got a strict, immediate deadline.
Yeah, and it took you some time, Eli, because you've been on your own so long that you had like
my own system,
your own system
right,
and everything, and to have somebody move in and kind of disrupt that system with their life.
That's a beautiful.
Because
I love your honesty.
It is.
You disrupted my masculine cycle.
Well, it wasn't like
I'm kidding.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, like you, for instance, when we got together and moved in, you didn't have to just take me on; you took my dogs on too, which is added stress.
I take care of them every day. I fill their water bowl. I fill their food. I take them out to poop. I clean that. There's a lot. The dogs. Things for Dawn's medication. I do it because I'm just better at ensuring it's accurate.
It's not that I couldn't do my medication, but he's been doing it since day one.
I have it down to
so he has it down. So
and I'm so square that like I will double, triple check. That's my lady's life.
How do you make a square?
It has to be 100% proper. And when you're dealing with medication, you got to get it according to the doctors. And when they change dosages and stuff, you've got to be on top of that. And that would overwhelm you.
Yeah.
It overwhelms me, but I've gotten used to it. That would drive you nuts. So you see that? You roll your eyes, so you're happy I take care of that.
Absolutely.
Her and I work together as a team when there's a lot to do. And I do what needs to get done that I'm better at than her, and she does what she needs to get done that she's better at than me. It's not saying that we're better than each other overall. It's just that we both have our strengths and weaknesses, and we both focus on our strengths during times where we need to help each other when the plate gets that overloaded.
And that's the great thing about having a partner, having that communication, because that partner can be like, oh, I didn't realize that was on your list. Let me take care of that.
Because your kiss is on my list.
Well, I won't take that off the list.
Because your kiss, I can't resist. Because your kiss is on my list. Anyway, you know who that is? Keep it that way, right? But you know who it is, right?
I don't.
It's a group of two guys that have been around for a while. Daryl and John.
Oh, Oates.
Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
Hall & Oates. They're legendary, baby.
They are. I couldn't put it together. But
they had too many hits, baby, so it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boys. She'll chew you up.
Already.
Anyway, there's some history regarding that song, baby. But I'll tell you that off camera. Some people on YouTube probably remember that have been following us for a while. But anyway, all right. Last one before the break here. Number 5, other people's chaos. So, Dawn, how much stress do you think comes from letting other people's chaos into your life? Great question. Like the YouTube drama, for example. If you let it consume you, it'll screw you over.
I mean, it doesn't have to just be YouTube. It could be family members, friends.
Family dynamics.
Yeah. And you know what? The best thing to say, not my circus, not my monkeys. So don't let them affect you. Everybody is going to have something going on in their lives. You listen to them, you empathize, but you don't let it affect your own.
That's right. No, absolutely. And real quick before Dawn takes her break, how much stress comes from letting other people's chaos in your life? Almost all of it. Not 100%, but it can be 90+% if you let it get to you. These people on YouTube that used to come at me, I used to let them affect me so much that it consumed me and stressed me out over just what they were saying and doing. That doesn't affect me in that way anymore. It does affect, our business and growing on YouTube and making money, which is why we're in court. But I'm no longer letting what other people are saying about me. Same with you. We're no longer letting people on YouTube affect us by them saying things, whether they're true or not. We're understanding that, hey, this is just how some people are. And if they're doing things that are actually violating us legally, we're just going to handle it in court, especially since now I know how to file, any case in a state or federal court pro se, and I've got it down to a science. We will handle it that way, but other people's chaos can absolutely consume you to the level of where it stresses you out. And look, that can affect our free time. There have been some times where some stuff from YouTube or family stuff has affected us that day. And we've gotten better at it. But in the past, it would affect us from being able to enjoy our night. And sometimes you'd go to sleep early. Sometimes I'd go to sleep early. We'd say, okay, the night is done. That's stress overload.
Yes.
And you need a reset. It's not that you're technically mad at me or I'm mad at you. Maybe a little bit, maybe a little frustration. That's normal. But it's basically stress overload. And you need a reset. Your body's saying, I'm at my max. Anything more is going to be a medical emergency. I'm going to sleep. Amen. And you've done that? And I'm like, cool. I'll stay up another half hour, watch a program that Dawn doesn't enjoy watching, and then boom, I'll just fall asleep.
Or like the news or something.
Or whatever, and then I go to bed, and that's that. Anyway, all right, so hold on. Let me go ahead and shut the camera off here for a second on the video side. Dawn's going to step away and take her break. We are at 57 minutes. When she comes back, we're going to have probably about maybe 27 to 30 minutes to wrap this up, because we are actually recording this shortly before Dawn has a phone appointment with one of her doctors. And it just happens to be that we did record this on a Monday because we couldn't do it on a Sunday. I was just overloaded this past Sunday. Anyway, so while Dawn steps away and takes her break, if you're listening to us on the audio-only podcast network such as, oh, man. You see? I'm screwing it up. Here we go. Apple, Spotify, Amazon's Music, iHeartRadio, Amazon's Audible, and YouTube's Music. So Apple, Spotify, Amazon's Music, my lady's favorite, iHeartRadio. We're on Amazon's Audible. We're also on YouTube's Music and many of the unknown audio-only podcast networks. If you're listening to us audio-only and you want to watch the video viewing of our podcast, go below in the description section of wherever you're listening to this audio-only. About halfway down, you'll see the link there. That'll redirect you right back to that video and also redirect you back to our main YouTube channel, which is GNA, Genuine Personal Development. GNA is short for Genuine Networking Association. When you go there, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications so you don't miss anything. Then go below that description section a couple lines down within that video, and you'll see the link to our secondary YouTube channel. It's our live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. GNA, again, short for Genuine Networking Association. Subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications when you go to GNA2. We go live there very often. Lately, it's been probably 2-3 times a week when things get back to normal and I'm not as stressed out or worn down or have less clerical work to do. We'll be going live almost every day, but we go there live at least 2 to 3 times a week, typically, 5, 6, 7 times a week or more. That's where to get the most recent up-to-date information. The channel you're watching this video of our podcast on, GNA, Genuine Personal Development, is now primarily our pre-recorded channel. We do some live streams on here every now and then, but it's pretty much our pre-recorded video and podcast channel. So yeah, no, we do Walking with Purpose streams. I do Walking with Purpose streams. Sometimes Don joins me. Sometimes we do Driving with Purpose streams while we're on the road driving. Sometimes we do On the Couch with Don and Eli. We've got a lot of content, and we're a great community of people that, is truly there to be supportive, spiritually, emotionally, and, help people just get through their days, because sometimes people just need someone to talk to and they don't have someone to talk to, or at least the right person to talk to. Anyway, Dawn, you're back?
Yep.
Wow. That was quick. Let me turn on the camera. You ready?
Was it? I thought I took a little longer.
All right. We're right back to it. We've got 5 more to go. We are at exactly 1 hour right now.
Sorry. I dropped a tissue, and my dogs think that that's like an
Edible.
appetizer.
Yeah, they think it's edible.
Yeah.
Your dogs have eaten tissue before, and then they poop it out.
The great thing my dogs never did was like eat my socks or chew my shoes.
That's true.
So
I mean,
if they,
I try to keep everything. We try to keep everything as clean as possible. We have great trash cans. These dogs can get in there sometimes,
and they have
sneaky.
lids. And the only thing is, we need to get a lock on them. It's like pathetic.
Right. They'll probably bust that too.
Well, they didn't with the garbage can we use for our recycling. That had a lid or a lock.
Right.
And they didn't get into that.
Well, that's good.
Maybe we'll think about that next time.
Okay.
All righty, let's move on.
Let's roll. Question number 6, babe. So this is about online stress. Dawn, do you think being online too much can make stress worse?
Well, it depends on what you're doing online.
That's a good answer.
If you are engaging or watching a lot of drama, you're in like this drama circle, that's stressful. I'd rather be in a community that is happy, has positivity, shows their growth in life. That's what I want to hear about. I don't want to hear about all their stresses. So give me something that I can work with, positive, that maybe in due time we can change our mind on,
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that? That was great.
Nah.
Just to add to it, here, do I think being online too much can make stress worse? I think it can. Does that mean, if you're really stressed out, you're online too much? No. Here's the thing. You got to learn how to balance your online world. The way I do it is I mix it in with my real life world, meaning that I don't feel the need to create content every day anymore like I used to. If I need to take a day off to spend with Dawn, or for health reasons, meaning that, I've pushed myself, my body's telling me to take a break. I don't have major health issues. I'm just saying you can have a health crisis anytime by stressing yourself out, which is why we're doing this topic, right?
And if you don't go to a physician regularly, you're not going to know how bad it's really affecting the insides.
That is true. But so the thing is, let me give you an example. If, let's say, I do a Walking with Purpose stream, and then I come home, and then Dawn there watching TV. Every so often, we have everyone has their phones open. You got to have them there in case an emergency pops through. Sometimes somebody might make a comment that I'll see pop up while we're spending time together. Now, depending on the person or, the situation, I might just respond to it very quickly, but then I'll just put the phone back down and then focus on my evening with Dawn. I think to a certain extent, that's a good way to balance it out. Some nights you're just going to say, I don't care who comments. I'm only going to respond to emergencies on my phone from family or whatever. You could set your phones to, lock down other communications and only let certain people through when the lockdown is on, like do not disturb mode is a great way I use that. But yeah, I think if your whole entire identity is based online, I think that can make stress a heck of a lot worse. There
Absolutely.
are a lot of people on YouTube, for example, and I firmly believe, the people that I'm suing in my circuit civil case, the Florida case, I think the majority of their identity of who they are or who they feel they are or where their purpose is based off of is on YouTube. I think they are dependent on YouTube to feel like they are worthy of just being around.
Mm-hmm.
And when it gets to that point, that becomes very stressful for people like that. I'm not at the point of, I'm not dependent on YouTube to be happy or to feel like I'm worthy. I have a life with Dawn. I've got family. I've got so many other things going on. I enjoy YouTube as the place where I create personal development content along with Dawn and the rest of the people here at the GNA. And that's why it seems like to some people out there, YouTube's my entire life. It's not. It's a good part of my life because I want to reach people to help them in a positive way. But I don't make it 24/7, even though it may come off that way. It comes off that way because I put in enough time and energy into it because I believe in what I do, and so does Dawn. Dawn believes in the vision of the GNA, positivity, and helping people overcome setbacks to accomplish whatever their hearts desire. All right, so that's number 6, baby. Ready to move on to number 7?
Yeah.
Number 7. Oh, you're going to love this one. Stress in relationships. Dawn, how can stress affect relationships? We kind of got into that, but add something onto it, babe. I know you can.
Well, stress can lead to people in relationship can lead to stepping out, looking for what you need, not just reevaluating what you have and making that work. People like to see what's on the other side, if the grass is greener. And that can cause a lot of stress in a relationship. Money, are they making enough money for their current situation and their future? That's fucking stressful. When you get to your 50s and you're like, I'm close to retirement. Do I have enough time put in? And, what kind of social security am I going to get? And am I going to be able to live off of that? That's a huge stress. I mean, I couldn't even imagine having to approach that, So lots in a relationship. There's a lot of times that partners don't tell about financial difficulties, when they're basically broke. They don't tell their partner.
Everybody right now is dealing with financial difficulty unless you're super rich and you can overcome any economy like everybody's dealing.
But that goes back to communication. You talk to your partner, you see what is within a budget, or you see what you're paying out. Mm-hmm. Then you kind of know where you can be that month.
Right.
So, which can help decrease your stress.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Anything else, babe, on that? Okay, so how can stress affect relationships in my view? I mean, it can affect it in every single way unless you communicate it with your partner like I always, at least I try to. I mean, I think we both have gotten better at hearing each other out and being understanding to the current circumstances that are out of our control.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a difference between things that are out of our control and things that are within our control. And that's something that you and I both struggled at first to try to figure out and understand about each other, is that the things that are within our control, we can more so hold each other accountable for on that. The things that are out of our control that need to be handled are things we still need to communicate and be understanding, but they need to be communicated properly. The thing is, it's about communication. It's about sitting down with your partner and saying, look, babe, I love you. I know that this is taking time away from playtime in our relationship. This is taking time away from going and doing things. I'm not trying to do that. This is what's going on right now. This is how it's affecting us if we don't handle these things right now. We're not going to be in a position to even have a roof over our head, right? So the bottom line is that's just figure of speech. It's just an example. But the communication aspect is critical. And, back in the days when you were going through your recovery, you were dealing with alcohol and stuff like that and other family issues, and you've worked through it, and I'm so proud of you. You have no idea how proud I am. But back in those days when you were still going through that, it was not easy for me to communicate things in the same way I'm communicating them to you now.
I didn't have the clarity to understand what you were telling me.
Because of what you were going through within your own self, you were not in the right space to be able to be understanding. And that's why I've always been supportive, and I was helping you get to that better state and not holding that against you. But now you're in that better state. Now we communicate so much easier and better. And that's why the people online that have been coming at us and trolling us and attacking us have stopped coming at you, because you've turned it around. There's nothing more for them to make fun of or criticize. And it was never a laughing matter in the first place. But, there were times when we did streams years ago where we had moments, and there was some crazy stuff going on, but we got that handled, and look what happened. It turned around for the better.
The other day, my mom reminded me of a saying that she's been saying for a very long time. And it's the Serenity Prayer. It's God grant me, I just had it. God grant the ability.
Let's do this, baby.
Let's just read it.
God grant me the serenity
to accept the things I
cannot change.
The courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so what that's saying is
the full
basically
original version, courtesy of AA.
What?
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace, taking as he did the sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that he will make all things right. If I surrender to his will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever. They're talking about God there, I believe.
Yeah, well, it's a serenity prayer.
Right.
So, yes, that is something that
Every AA meeting is.
Yeah, I was going to say all the AA, NAs, all of that, they go by, because you have to accept the things that you can't change.
Right.
And you have to know the difference of the two. That's what they're basically saying.
Wonderful. Let's get to
7 or 8.
8. We got a couple more. Protecting your health, babe, is the subject of this question. Don, what are some ways people can protect their health when life gets stressful?
Regular visits to the doctor.
Okay.
You need to get a baseline of what's going on in your body right now. And then you have to, constantly evaluate and see, but you need to go see a doctor, because if you're having stomach pains, you need to get into a GI, see if that's going to help, but you got to listen to your body and then your doctor.
I agree with you. Just in my situation, I'm not having stomach pains. I have acid reflux. I know what a stomach pain is. Stomach pain is unbearable, and it just doesn't stop. The acid reflux, it comes and goes. Like when you're irritated down there, while your body's healing up the irritation, for that entire week, you're going to have it go in and out. And that's why you take Zantac and you take Alka-Seltzer. It basically neutralizes it while your body's repairing it. But what you're talking about is if you have actual stomach pain, like
actual chest pain
and stuff like that, like when you're stressed out or having a panic attack, that area gets tightened up.
Oh, you feel like you can't breathe.
Right. You're not actually dying, but you need to get under control because then that can lead to worse things. But the bottom line, Don's talking about if you have serious, like chest pains, heart pains, stomach pains, we're not talking acid reflux, which sucks too.
But I would say most of the population has some form of gastric, the reflux.
Oh, yeah. And that's why that's why Alka-Seltzer, it's made by Bayer, I believe. They're rich. That's why Zantac, they all make
Prevacid.
Come on. But anyway, what are some ways people can protect their health when life gets stressful? You said go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That is one important aspect. The other aspect is to withdraw yourself from situations that are toxic, whether it's online or offline. And I'll tell you this, I've seen online situations become more toxic than real world situations because people behave in ways online that they wouldn't offline. And the people involved in those groups, like YouTube has some drama groups. This is why I've sued the guy, that I'm suing. And then I've added somebody that is in his group that's also creating similar content and working together with him, acting in concert, coordinating, right? Basically, this is what they do. They have a group of people. They go live. They talk smack about other people like us. And then they have Discord groups behind the scenes where they plot and scheme things. And then they keep that audience engaged. So when a few of the main creators, like the two people I'm suing in this case, in this circuit civil case in Florida, when they go live and get donations, that audience will donate to them. It keeps them enraged. So this is why I've always said, even to those people, they're in a toxic environment because those creators are preying on the vulnerabilities of these people's heartstrings and the fact that these people, probably don't have many other people to talk to. And this gives them something to do, but it's not something that is healthy. It's not something that is healthy. You need to withdraw from that. I'm not trying to tell you folks what to do, but it's not healthy. So one of the best ways that people can protect their health when life gets stressful is to withdraw from toxic situations, whether they're family situations that are toxic, relationship, friends. Sometimes you need a little space from me. Sometimes I need a little space from you. It hasn't happened much lately because we become so understanding. Like we just understand each other's space. You give me the time to do what I need to do. I give you the time to do what you need to do. You've gotten better now. I feel a lot more comfortable that you're not going to fall and hurt yourself and all that. I still watch. I still care. But when life gets stressful, the best thing you can do is stay focused on what counts and withdraw from toxic situations. That's it. Anything else, babe?
No.
Number 9, we are at 1 hour and 18 minutes, 12 minutes to go. Number 9, boundaries, baby. The word I used to not like. The word that your daughter loves. And you love that word.
Well, a lot of people love it.
They do.
I've seen a lot of people do it in my life. Not with me all the time. Let me
answer the question first before you get into it, because you might answer the question before I ask it. Dawn, how important are boundaries when it comes to stress? Continue.
Boundaries are something that need to be spoken of and understood. Understood why there are boundaries, what crosses the line of the boundaries. So I think it is important in order to kind of like keep yourself safe. You put those boundaries, walls somewhere, and that keeps you safe and not going to get hurt or, like I'm talking about broken heart, Yeah, I mean, did I say it all?
You did, unless you want to add more.
Nah.
I don't cut you off anymore. I've never tried to cut you off in the first place, but I see how in sync we are now.
We are doing much better.
Bye, 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 bye. I'm doing this tonight. That was Justin, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to sing, though.
You're all I ever wanted.
You're all I ever needed.
So tell me what to do.
Girl.
'Cause I want you back. Dun, 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 dun. That was the very first hit by NSYNC, right?
Yes.
I remember they overplayed that song so many times. I'm like, who the hell is this Justin guy? Oh, he used to be a part of the Mickey Mouse Club with Britney Spears, right?
And Christina.
And Christina Aguilera, yeah. Oh, I forgot about Aguilera too, man. Oh, man, those kids must have...
That girl has a voice.
Oh, man. Whatever happened to Aguilera?
She's going strong.
Is she looking good?
She looks great.
Oh, she does?
Fantastic.
She's got to be like in her late 40s now.
Bitch looks fantastic.
Yeah. Wow. Well, let me see here. Christina. 45 years old. She got a little thick.
Yeah. I think she just filled out appropriately.
I think she just filled out appropriately.
Well, from being a teenage girl to a woman.
From being a stick figure.
Well, yeah, from being a teenager turning into a woman. That's what I mean.
I know,
she
baby.
filled out nicely.
Amen, baby. I love, baby. I need to learn a thing or two about positivity from you. You are the prime example of positivity. You are. Okay. How important are boundaries when it comes to stress? I'm just going to say absolutely important. You've got to set boundaries. And if people don't respect your boundaries, they're not worthy of being around you. Just ignore them.
And you need to tell them why there's a boundary. You can't just cut off communication and
don't
be like,
do what your daughter did to you.
Yeah, and just be like, oh, don't cross my boundaries either. Well,
what the hell are your boundaries?
I don't know your boundaries.
Yeah, what the hell are your boundaries?
So yeah, that's important to do if you want.
I mean, when people do a crime, they're accused of a crime, and it has to be proven. They're told what they're being accused of. In this case, she is saying that you did something wrong. I didn't tell you what you did wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's frustrating.
Mountains to me because...
It's frustrating and it causes stress. And remember, when you have a lot of pain in your stomach or stress going on, one of the leading things that happens is an ulcer in your stomach.
And you know what sciatica is? It's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass.
That's what they call a pain in the ass.
Pita.
I've got that. I'm literally a pain in the ass. Probably figuratively and literally and figuratively. Because I have a pain in my ass sciatica, and I am a pain in the ass.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's all good. Ready for the power question number 10?
Power.
An hour and 23 minutes. We got to start wrapping this up. 12:58. We're good. Dawn, what separates someone who manages stress well from someone who lets stress consume them?
I think the people who have adapted to the stress in their life, they'll be more successful because they'll know their limits. Okay. Where on the flip side, it gets to be out of control. They don't know what their body's limits are that day. And then they just go, crazy.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Real quick, this is going to be simple. This is how I handle it. It's pretty simple. What separates someone who manages stress well from someone who lets stress consume them? So basically, it boils down to this. And it's harder for men because men struggle with their emotions. Women are very open emotionally. A lot of men are closed off. But you have to understand, men, even though we process or we're supposed to process our emotions differently than women, we still have emotions, and we still need to be open and honest emotionally, especially with our partners, right?
Mm-hmm.
So someone who manages stress well is going to be open emotionally to talk about things that may not be easy to talk about as a man or even as a woman, but they know they need to be talked about. So someone who is emotionally open and someone also who communicates well, those go hand in hand. Being open emotionally and communicating properly. I am open emotionally with Dawn, maybe too emotionally at times. Sometimes, listen, I'm not going to say what she says here. She's not going to say it. Sometimes she says I'm like a girl, and I'm not. She jokes about it, and I don't care if people joke about it. I'm just in touch with my emotions. I have my moments, right? But I communicate very well. So you got to be open emotionally, whether you're a man or a woman, not afraid to express yourself. And then you've got to have good communication skills. You need to have good communication skills and talk about the things that are bothering you or affecting you, because if not, you're going to keep it locked in and your stress is going to continue to multiply.
Yes.
To the level where you're either going to get really sick or you're going to overreact and possibly hurt someone. And that's where I think a lot of domestic violence situations come from, babe, is the buildup of not hearing each other out or understanding each other.
Very good point. Very, very good
Thank you.
point.
Thank you. Sometimes I say something that makes me seem like I'm not a dodo.
Stop it.
That's all I'm saying. All right. Final thoughts, because we got to wrap this up in about 5 minutes here.
I
Less than 5 minutes.
think this was a great topic. This is something that affects everybody in the world. We are just telling you our experiences of how stress has affected us. But yeah, I think this can be helpful for people to kind of separate what needs to be done versus, what won't be affected if it's not done today. You got to prioritize. That's the big word, is prioritizing your day, your life, what you want, setting goals, get something done in 5 years or 2 years, I know, like, my brother, he has like the next 5-year plan where
Dean.
He wants to be at the age of...
Dean.
Will you stop? Yes, Dean.
Okay.
Gosh.
I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure it wasn't David.
No.
Okay. So his next year's planned out. Next 5 years planned out.
A little more than that. He wants to be able to retire and have his house paid off by 55. That's his goal.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not a bad guy. Stop being like,
I never said
Dean
was a bad guy. Never said Dean was a bad guy. Dean is just Dean. And I'm me. Right?
And I'm me.
It's all good. It's all good. You know what? I'll find out what Dean's favorite beer is, and I'll get it for him. And him and I will sit down and have some
He's a
beers.
whiskey guy.
Whiskey, okay. So I need to get Dean drunk.
No.
Before I can have a real conversation with him and say, you know what?
He
I love
doesn't...
your sister and this and that, and we're all good. And Dean, come on.
My brother, when he doesn't really... He enjoys fine whiskey. So get ready to spend $200.
I got to spend 200 bones on your brother for him to like me? Fuck that. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just telling you that's the range he drinks.
I know.
And he doesn't, like, every bottle that I bought him still has whiskey in it. It's not like he doesn't finish a bottle before, know. He does tastings, basically.
We got to wrap it up because your thing is coming up. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we can talk more about Dean another time. Dean's a wonderful man. Now, my final thoughts. I think what this really comes down to is respecting your own limits, because stress is real and life is going to bring pressure. That's just the truth. There will be problems. There will be difficult people. There will be bills. There will be conflict. There will be uncertainty. There will be things you cannot control. But what you can control is how much access you give those things. A lot of the stuff we talked about throughout the show, to your body, to your mind, to your spirit, to your home, to your peace. And sometimes the most important thing you can say is, this is not worth my health. I've said that, and I'm not walking today, babe.
No.
And now, even though you're disappointed because people like when I walk, I'm thinking about my health when I do that, because some people will argue forever. Some situations will never be fair. Some problems will take time, and some battles have to be handled slowly, like the court case. The wheels of justice turn slowly, right? Carefully and with a clear mind, but you cannot handle anything well if stress has completely taken over your body. So if you're listening right now and you've been carrying too much, take a breath, slow down, check in with yourself, ask yourself, am I sleeping? Am I eating right? Am I constantly tense? Am I letting someone else's chaos become my health problem? Am I giving too much power to something I cannot control today? Because peace is not always automatic. Sometimes peace has to be protected, and your health has to come first. Not because the problems don't matter, but because you matter.
Yes.
Your body matters, your mind matters, your future matters, and you cannot let temporary stress create long-term health issues. So protect your peace, protect your body, protect your mind, and don't let stress become the thing that controls your life. And you know what, babe? Just like I always say at the end of each show, don't
take life for granted.
Don't take life for granted. With that being said, it is time to start wrapping this up. All right. You're listening to the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. This has been episode number 60. The title was Don't Let Stress Create Health Issues. One more time, a great topic, huh, babe?
Very good topic.
One more time, the topic of episode number 60 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast was Don't Let Stress Create Health Issues. All right, let's tell them one more time, baby. If they're listening to us on the audio-only podcast network such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon's Music, your very favorite,
iHeartRadio. And one more time, iHeartRadio.
Third time for charm, my lady's favorite place to listen to the podcast and other music is iHeartRadio. I love it too. Also, we're on Amazon's Audible. We're also on YouTube's Music, and we're also on many of the other not as well-known audio-only podcast networks. If you're listening to us audio-only and you'd like to view the video version on our YouTube channel, go below in the description section of wherever you're listening to us audio-only. About halfway down, you'll see the link there. That'll redirect you to our main YouTube channel, GNA Genuine Personal Development. Subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications so you don't miss anything. And once you're there, go below in that description section, a couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we go live regularly there, walking with purpose streams, driving with purpose streams, on the couch with Don and Nila. We got to do one of those soon, babe. And just many, many more other live shows, sometimes from the studio. So check us out there, subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications. With that being said, time to go. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, babe, be
good to each other.